tonight. A Saskatoon woman says 3 dogs attacked her and killed her small dog. A record number of voters register for the Métis Nation-Saskatchewan elections. And table for 8, please. A mother goose picks a Regina restaurant to build her nest.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Tuesday, May 20th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. I'm Ethan Williams. Thank you for joining us. A Saskatoon woman is injured and her dog is dead after being attacked by 3 other dogs in the city late last week. And as Alexander Kwan reports, the attack has people concerned about their safety.
I'm scared for my grandchildren. Like when my 6-year-old grandchild wants to come here and play, I don't want her to play out the front.
The Halte neighborhood in Saskatoon is on edge after a dog attack last week left 1 woman injured and her dog dead. Susan O'Donnell says she's heartbroken that her Pomeranian, named Ryder, is gone.
I've been very traumatized and extremely emotional and lost without Ryder. He meant the world to me. He was like a child to me.
O'Donnell and Ryder went on their evening walk last Thursday. That's when she says 3 large pit bulls charged towards them and began attacking. That drew the attention of neighbors.
There's a woman screaming, "They're killing my dog, they're killing my dog," and you could hear the dogs barking and stuff.
Neighbors were quick to intervene, but it was too late. Ryder had to be euthanized due to his injuries, while O'Donnell suffered injuries to her hand and arm.
My only instinct was to pick him up and try and protect him. I was unable to do that.
People who live in the neighborhood say the incident isn't a surprise.
This has happened before. It's happened actually multiple times, and the owners have been warned, the landlord had been warned.
CBC spoke with the owner of the pit bulls, who claims to still have the 3 dogs. He says Saskatoon Animal Control told him they need to be euthanized, but the agency tells CBC it's continuing to investigate. Neighbors say they have filed multiple complaints about the dogs before, but nothing has been done.
I think we need to change the law for dangerous dogs, and you need to let Animal Control take charge and give them enough power to go and grab them right away.
For now, they'll wait for action, concerned about the safety of their dogs and themselves. Alexander Kwan, CBC News, Regina.
Saskatoon police are investigating after 2 men died in separate homicides in the city over the long weekend. And we're now also hearing from a family member of one of the victims. Scott Larson reports.
Police say around 11 o'clock Sunday night, officers responded to a report of an injured man at Avenue B South in Spadina Crescent, near River Landing. They found a 43-year-old man who had been stabbed. He was taken to hospital where he died from his injuries. And early Saturday morning, police were called to a motel in the 2000 block of Avenue B North. They found a 20-year-old man who had been shot. He was taken to hospital, but later died. A 27-year-old man was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Police are still searching for a second suspect. 26-year-old Lawrence Opikaku is considered armed and dangerous, and authorities say the public should not approach him. Opikaku is described as 6'4", 190 pounds, with short black hair and brown eyes. Police are asking anyone with information about either incidents to contact them or Crime Stoppers. The shooting victim has been identified as Matthew Brabant. In a statement to CBC News, his sister said Brabant's life cannot be summed up by police reports or reduced to a stereotype. He was a whole person, a brother, a son, a father, someone who carried softness, humor, and insight. It's not just about the potential of who he could have become, but the future he was already shaping for himself, one that family and friends could see in his actions and presence. Alison Forsberg goes on to say, "Violence doesn't start in a moment. It starts long before that, in the environments people grow up in systems that don't resource communities, in trauma that goes unspoken and untreated. We can't only focus on what went wrong in one instant. We have to ask what made the conditions for this to even happen." The deaths were the 3rd and 4th homicides of the year. In April, a 38-year-old man was killed in the Holiday Park area. And in January, a 23-year-old man was stabbed to death at a mining supply company in the city's north end. A co-worker has been charged with his murder. Scott Larson, CBC News, Saskatoon.
A downtown Saskatoon store is turning an act of vandalism into a lighthearted contest. The co-owner of 7 Sundays is asking people to guess the size of a rock that was thrown through the store's window earlier this month.
And it came through the window on that side and exited right here.
We need to figure out a way to turn this into a positive. I texted my co-business owner and boyfriend Sam, and I was like, what do we name the rock? Like, jokingly, what do we name the rock? And he said Dwayne. We woke up to a text from some business owners that share the building with us that are above us and sent us a photo of a big hole in our window. So it didn't set off the alarms for us, so we really had no way of being notified that there was a hole in our window. And 4 days prior, we ended up having 2 thefts as well. So we have a young team of girls, and yeah, they had dealt with 2 grown men coming in and stealing from us. So I feel like if it was an isolated incident, I really wouldn't have thought of making it into a marketing tactic. But I think after 3 incidents happen in a week, and with us being our business being downtown for almost 2 years and really having nothing happen to us or nothing notable in the last 2 years, having 3 things in a week kind of put me into the mentality of, okay, I need to turn this into a positive.
So the day that the window got smashed, we put this contest together so customers can come in. It's an in-store contest only. You can guess the weight of the rock without picking it up, and put your name, phone number, and your guess in here. We have hundreds and hundreds of guesses from the last 2 weeks. And the closest 7 guesses will win a piece of our merch of their choice.
Residents of Regina's Glen Elm Trailer Park want the city to rezone the old Taylor Field site. Last week, Regina Executive Council voted to ask for provincial and federal funding to redevelop the area. But the question of what gets built there is still up in the air. Building affordable housing on the site has long been suggested by city officials, and Glen Elm residents, many of whom are being evicted from their trailer park in June, say manufactured homes are the solution.
Why is the city plan absent of any discussion about a place for manufactured homes? The only reason I can think is that for 70 years we've been here. The city says this is the place for manufactured homes, and yet we're being told to leave the city.
City zoning does not currently allow for manufactured homes on the Taylor Field site, but that may change if federal funding goes through and the city debates what will be built there. Métis Nation-Saskatchewan citizens head to the polls later this week to elect their provincial and regional leaders. And with more citizens than ever and self-government agreement negotiations ahead, there's plenty of excitement about this vote. Jeremy Warren reports.
Almost 28,000 people are eligible to vote in this weekend's Métis Nation-Saskatchewan election. That's 12,000 more than the last vote in 2021. A Métis political scientist says the increase is due in part to the MNS rolling out more programs and projects for citizens to help with things like housing and childcare.
One of the things that voters are going to be looking for is the ability for those programs to be maintained and to be extended. And I think also what citizens are going to be looking for is the ability for leaders to build those partnerships with other governments to continue the development towards treaty and self-government.
One of the top priorities for the new leadership is finishing negotiations with Ottawa for a landmark self-government agreement. With the historic moment on the horizon, there's plenty of citizens closely watching the election.
Métis Nation of Saskatchewan has their own membership list per se, and we are happy to say that they have a record number of eligible registered Métis Nation of Saskatchewan citizens.
Boyer has noticed more Métis youth on campus getting involved in politics. He says they see a chance to shape their future.
They know that their vote matters now with, this good governance that's being built and good elections being run. So I think it's just a wonderful and exciting opportunity for young people to come and be involved in the nation building.
Polling stations across the province open Saturday morning at 9 and close at 8 in the evening. Unofficial results are expected later that night. Jeremy Warren, CBC News, Saskatoon.
Well, after a rainy, cool, long weekend, our work week appears to be starting the same way. Many of us getting some much-needed rainfall, but of course it would be nice to see the sun come out again. Does not look like that'll be happening right away, though. Weather specialist Helena Mahalik has a look at what's to come in her forecast when we come back. Stay with us. Hockey fans across the country are watching this year's NHL playoffs, and they only have one option left if they want to cheer for a Canadian team. The Edmonton Oilers are headed into the Stanley Cup Western Conference Final this week. Paige Parsons has more.
Edmonton has won the game and the series!
Edmonton Oilers fans say this is the year the team can take the cup.
You watch, we're going to go all the way.
We want the cup!
As this year's playoff run heats up, Oilers diehards are once again welcoming fans of other Canadian teams to hop on the Edmonton bandwagon.
All Toronto fans are all going to be Oilers fans now, so including all Winnipeg and Vancouver's, everything's going to be all Edmonton now.
We have Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. I think this fan base reaches far more than the city of Edmonton.
The Oilers are the last Canadian team standing in the playoffs, facing off against the Dallas Stars starting Wednesday, knowing some fans are shifting allegiances to back them.
Obviously, there's going to be some Flames fans or Toronto fans that probably aren't cheering for us.
The pressure is on now. Winnipeg Jets fans' hopes were dashed on the weekend. The Toronto Maple Leafs are out too, and some of their fans are fed up.
There was more jerseys on the ice in the last 10 minutes that I saw jerseys in the stands.
Like every year, it's the same song and dance. It's just brutal.
Even Canadian skaters playing against Toronto say they don't envy the pressure Leafs players were under.
It's got to be tough on those guys to walk to the rink every day and not feel that, because you see the way the fans treat them at the end. Like, how do you not feel that every single day?
And so it's all on Edmonton, facing a more formidable version of Dallas than last year.
They traded for Mikko Rantanen. He's one of the best players in the NHL, so they have the star power that maybe they were missing a little bit last year.
But this sports writer adds that the Oilers are now more experienced too, that they have the depth and the talent to win.
I think the general hockey fan in Canada will be cheering on the Edmonton Oilers. They want a Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup. They want to bring it back to Canada.
They meet the Stars on Wednesday in Dallas. Paige Parsons, CBC News, Edmonton.
Well, it all comes down to just one game for the Saskatchewan Rush. They are tied in their National Lacrosse League Championship Series with the Buffalo Bandits. The Rush lost the first game in the series in Buffalo, but edged the Bandits 10-9 Sunday night in Saskatoon. Now it will be winner-take-all in the third and deciding game this Saturday in Buffalo. The Rush's co-head coach and general manager says the team has the tools to win a championship.
They're a pretty confident group. They work extremely hard, and they've earned everything that they've got to this point. Hopefully we can get in and earn the championship on Saturday. They have a tremendous fan base there. They're probably going to sell the building out, but we like that ourselves too. Like, I thought we came out really strong last week with in front of that big crowd in Buffalo, and we expect to do the same this weekend.
And even if they don't win the championship, the Rush still have some accolades to their name. Keenan was recently named the league's GM of the year. The Rush last won the NLL championship in 2018. Weather specialist Helena Mahalik joining us now, and a chilly, rainy, long weekend, Helena, and looks like we're in for more of the same.
Yeah, not exactly the time for outdoor sports over the next few days. We've seen a little bit of rain over the long weekend. Let's take a look at just how much rain some areas of the province got. Places like Shaunavon, 24.9 millimeters, Etonia, 7.1 millimeters. Much of this rainfall was from Monday, and areas like Moose Jaw, 5.6, and Regina, 5.1 millimeters. So a bit of a rainy long weekend in total for the province, and that continues for Tuesday. We're seeing rainfall in the southeast as well as in central Saskatchewan, places in and around Saskatoon and Regina. We will see that continue into Tuesday evening for much of south and central Saskatchewan. Oh no, we're seeing a little bit of some chance of snow in the southeast there near Estevan. Don't worry, that's just this radar picking it up because temperatures are feeling just a little bit cooler tonight with all this rainfall, but other radars aren't quite showing some of that snowfall. As we continue into Wednesday, we're seeing those showers continuing. For much of the province there, we're seeing one more day of the gloomy weather, but as we get into Thursday, we were seeing the skies, clear out. We're seeing clear skies throughout much of the province there, some cloud coverage here and there, but overall we're getting a break from some of that moisture until Friday, where the southwestern part of the province near Swift Current and Kindersley are going to be in for just another chance of some showers there for Friday. All of this rainfall is going to leave us with some accumulation, the most of which is going to be in the southwest and the southeast. Places like Valmarie, 6 millimeters, Maple Creek, 5, Estevan, more of the heavier rain there, 8 millimeters. Places like Regina, 4 millimeters. So we're getting some rainfall there, which has caused temperatures to be a little cooler Tuesday, lower than 10 degrees in southern Saskatchewan and central Saskatchewan, just at around the 10-degree mark. Temperatures actually much warmer in northern Saskatchewan, and the farther north you go, actually the warmer it is. Places like Stony Rapids actually closer to the 20-degree mark today, as they didn't experience quite the same showers as the rest of the province did. So we have seen a bit of a low pressure system rolling in Tuesday, which is continuing Wednesday. As we can see here, the north will continue to be a bit warmer Wednesday. As we look at Thursday, though, temperatures will be warming up for most of the province as some of that rainfall dissipates, leaving us with a much clearer and warmer day. And then as we get into Friday, we're seeing a high pressure system rolling in. Ethan, bringing much warmer temperatures to much of the province. We may even be closer to the high teens or 20 degrees by the end of this work week. So only a few more days of the gloomier weather in store for us.
All right, looking forward to that. Thanks so much, Helena.
Thanks, Ethan.
Well, bike thefts are on the rise in Regina, so locking up your bike properly is important. Here are some handy tips from Bike Regina.
I know the time that I had my bike stolen, it was primarily, it had only been left for maybe 10 minutes, so it wasn't a matter of time. It was out of my eyesight, so that's one of the things that I now changed, but I also had it locked in properly. I brought a chain lock. It's in a little cloth casing, so you can wear it like a belt or a sling, which is great for transporting. And then I brought a classic U-lock and cable, which is like often maybe a little bit more expensive, but it's one of the longest locks to break through, As the beefier the lock gets, the beefier the cutting implements get. There we go. Lock up both tires and frame. So in an ideal world, this particular bike is not set up for this particular lock right now. You would put your front tire through the cable, then your cable through your U-lock and your back tire would attach to the frame here, and then all of that gets locked up. This is a cable lock. You can see the beginning cable right there, but it is also in a cloth sleeve that allows you to wrap it around your waist or across your torso like a belt. Great for transporting. And so this one will get through the frame, the actual bike rack itself, and the back tire. Now this option does leave my front wheel unsecured. It's a risk I take when I lock up using this lock. Every bike rack is different, which is a hazard of every bike rack trying to have some sort of architectural feature with the building it's a part of. Not all bike racks are built equally, and some bike racks just are really tough to lock a bike to.
Well, these rare Hazel dormice are getting a checkup at a London zoo before they're released into the wild. It's part of a UK conservation effort to help the vulnerable mammal. Its population has plummeted by more than half over the last 25 years because of climate change. Stay with us. We're back after the break. Welcome back. Well, now that spring is here, Regina's new generation of Canada geese have begun hatching. And if you're in town, or really anywhere across the province, you may have noticed the young families are waddling around. And at one Regina restaurant, some new hatchlings arrived right at the front door. Last month, a mother goose laid eggs on a planter outside the Earls on the east end of the city. 2 of those eggs hatched on Friday. The staff quickly flocked together to release the baby geese into a nearby river.
Absolutely surreal. There was some other geese that were obviously like very territorial of the situation, so they came to check it out immediately, and they didn't really give them any time to sink in that they were at the water now and where they needed to be. But once the other geese calmed down, then we got the babies out of the net. We really prioritized just making sure they got all together, and they were immediately in the water and so happy.
And the 2 new geese are safely in the river with Mama Earlette and Papa Earl. Wildlife experts are expecting the geese to return to their nest at Earl's next year. Alina, I think we have a winner for best goose name or name combination ever. Best couple name, maybe?
I love those names. They're too cute.
What's our forecast looking like?
Well, our forecast, we are in for one more day of rain. Let's take a look at what we have in store for Regina and area. So we do have one more day of rain Wednesday, bringing temperatures down just a little bit before they rise back up as that sun comes out Thursday, bringing us a nice rest of the week. Temperatures will be rising up over the weekend back to the high teens and the 20-degree mark. And then as we get into next work week, even into the high 20s. A few breezy days and temperatures overnight a little bit cooler, but as the sun comes back out, temperatures will even be above average overnight. Same thing in Saskatoon. Wednesday, one more day of rain, but Thursday the sun is coming back out, raising temperatures back to the high teens and then to the 20 degrees. And next work week, we're seeing even close to 30 degrees. Again, a few breezy days, but overnight we're going to be seeing temperatures rising to above seasonal for this time of year as we get into the next work week, Ethan. So just one more day of rain, and then the sun is here bringing us some nice, beautiful weather.
Yeah, maybe nice to stop and see Earl and Earlette in Wascana Park.
They'll be enjoying the nice weather too.
They sure will. Okay, Helena, thanks so much.
Thanks.
And that is it for us. For more news anytime, you can always head to our website or subscribe to our YouTube channel. And of course, you can always download the CBC News app on your smartphone or tablet. Thanks so much for watching.